Today's date again is September 8th, 2016. This is The Real Moses, Part 4. Picking up again from Exodus 2, verse 17. Moses stood up to help the daughters of the priest of Midian and help them and water their flock. As I bring these lessons to a close here in Part 4, just know that Moses never stopped being who he was, as I mentioned in Part 3. He didn't allow what he went through to change him. It might have changed his situation, but not him. Changed his status, but not him. Changed his job, not him. Changed his location, his city that he was living in, but not him. He might have had to move on, but he himself was not changed inside of his heart. Who he was did not change. You got to keep you intact. Maybe you have to, like Moses, get up and run, right? Like Moses, he had to get up and run from Egypt. But you still need to get up again. They may have threatened your progress, defamed your name, dismantled the fame you had, but you can still be you in the next place. Just what Moses did. He wanted to help the Hebrews, had to take off and run and flee the Pharaoh. When he got to Midian, he was still that helping person looking out for the next person. You can still be you in the next place. Exodus 2 verse 19. And they said, an Egyptian, because the father was asking, hey, what happened? How did you guys, make it out? Whatever. So they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock. They called Moses an Egyptian. He was still called an Egyptian. That was his old way of being seen. They didn't say a Hebrew helped us. They didn't say one of the children of Israel helped us. An Egyptian helped us. You may have to deal in life with people who are still looking at you in the old light of what they knew you to be. You've done changed, you've moved on, you've changed up as many things in your life as you needed to make some real movement in your life. You're showing yourself, you're showing the Most High, you're showing whatever, you've moved on and so on. And you might not necessarily have been no criminal or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you just needed some changes to get some movement done in your life again. Or people are still calling you by an old name. They're still looking at you in the same light, like you can't really do that. You can't really accomplish that. Why? Because they're still seeing you in that old way. Never giving you enough credit, enough push to say, enough encouragement to say, yeah, you can do it. No, you're still that Egyptian. You're still in those old clothes. You're still in those same clothes. You're still in that. Their thoughts have not changed about you, but your thoughts need to change about yourself and to continue to change about yourself. So he was still called by an old name, something he was not. Obviously, he ripped himself away from being an Egyptian to side with being a Hebrew slave to the point of helping them. And like a slave was not free, Moses, in a sense, became a slave, even though he didn't serve in that capacity in Egypt. Because in some sense, as the slave was not free under the Pharaoh, now Moses, by having to flee, was not a free man anymore. When you can't just live where you need to be, you might not be as free as you think you are, because some choices are ripped away from you. He's trying to move on, but enough people can't tell the change that he has made, that he has left Egypt, an Egyptian delivered us. Enough people can't tell that this man is different. Enough people, all they know is just an Egyptian, right? And new people can't quite figure out what you are as yet. You haven't had enough time to develop the changes that new people can't quite, it's like, but don't let that stop you. Keep moving on. I'm telling you, this is the real Moses. This is not just the Moses of Mount Sinai that we know and the lifting up of the rod for the Red Sea to cross. That's not the only Moses shown in Scripture. That's a part of the Moses. The real Moses includes that kind of miracle working Moses and the Moses that had some struggles and some difficulties in his life. This is the real Moses. This is the real you I'm talking to. The you that needs to make it to Mount Sinai. The you that needs to make it to where you can lift up that rod in your life and see some changes begin to happen in your life because you kept your mind intact when everything was falling apart and you kept going towards where your feet or your life was leading you as their steps are ordered by the Most High to get to the place where you need to be, that the Most High is directing you. If you stop along the way, you will remain in defeat. You need to keep walking through all kinds of difficulties, through everything. Notice what David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. If Moses had stayed in the wilderness, he would have died. Yea, though I walk. Not yea, though I stay where I'm at. Not yea, though I stay in the gutter. Not yea, though I dwell right here. But yea, though I walk. Yea, though I move. Not yea, though I remain stagnant. Yea, though I walk. Not yea, though I stay in defeat and in unbelief. Yea, though I believe to keep moving. Yea, though I believe to keep taking another step. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, not walking through a nice meadow with lots of greeneries, not yet though I walk through an orchard, all kinds of fruit I can eat up at any time I choose and sustain myself. Yea, though I walk through the dryness of the wilderness where the next thing to eat or drinking is a far way ahead of me. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. David was telling you, yea, though I walk through a valley that is so designed to kill anything that moves in it, it is a shadow of death. Yea, though I move through that. Yea, though I walk through my joblessness. Yea, though I walk through the haters in my life. Yea, though I walk through all the kind of defeats I've suffered. Yea, though I keep moving through the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Not saying evil will not come. Not saying evil will not approach unto me. How can evil not approach unto you when it is the shadow of death? It's designed to kill. It's death all around. Death, death, death all around. But yea, though I will not fear the evil that presents itself. I will not fear the difficulty. I will not fear the road coming to an end, because the Most High, if my steps are being ordered when I get to that end of the road, the Most High is going to make a way. And then Moses, the real Moses, walked through all of that until the road came to an end, fleeing the Pharaoh. And when the road came to an end and there was a sea in front, the Most High made a way. He said, lift up thy rod, lift up your hand. He made a way. If you keep moving, not because life is knocking you around, but you keep moving because life is directing you to where you need to go. If you keep moving to where life is directing you to go, you might end up at a sea you can't cross. You might end up at a road that comes to an end. You might end up in a valley that's like death itself. But there is life in the Most High. So Moses helped these people, even though they're still calling him by an old name, an Egyptian helped us. They can't see this as a Hebrew. They can't see this as a mighty miracle worker, because they're looking at the real Moses before we see all that fancy stuff on Mount Sinai, face shining like a light bulb and holding up a rod and throwing on stick to turn to serpent. They can't see that Moses yet. They're looking at the real Moses before that all happened, right? This Moses who didn't have anything going for him, he helped them. You notice what he did? He helped them defend them against the shepherds that was driving them away and help catch their water for them, fill their buckets, right? So what it's telling me is that Moses didn't change who he was. He was always that helpful person looking out for the next person, right? He didn't change just because his situation changed, because difficulties came in his life. He didn't pass on that difficulty to others. He helped work out someone else's problems. He chased them away and got some water for them, right? So Moses did not pass on to them the evil that had befallen him. Why? Because Moses kept his mind intact. He lost everything, but he kept himself. He kept being him, even though he lost his stuff. As a fugitive, Moses' life was going nowhere in the wilderness. It seemed, right? Life was going downhill. What is this wilderness? Is it just a road or a path to travel? Maybe a place for nighttime meditation? Or is it the crucible of a curse? What is this wilderness you face? Or is it the path to a change in life you never knew would be so real? But how will you know if you just lay down and die in the wilderness? But your attitude should be, yea, though I walk through the valley. Moses was taken to the point of death, struggling in that wilderness, thirsty as ever, hungry, weak, losing weight. You can't walk through wilderness so long and not start to get hungry and lose some weight and getting skinny and whatever, right? I mean, it's just, you're dehydrating everything. The signs of being in the wilderness had taken toll on him, right? He was taken to the point where he had to face death, wondering, will I make it? Wondering if Pharaoh or wilderness will kill him. You know you're close to die in the wilderness, in that valley of the shadow of death, but just don't know which difficulty in life will take you out. But the steps of the one who follows after the Most High are directed by the Most High. And based on the precepts we see in Scripture, the Most High directs people to places where things work out. He directs them to miracles. He directs them to blessings. He directs the one who follows after him to a place of change. This has been The Real Moses Part 4. Thank you for listening. I pray for you. Please pray for me. Together we're going to make it to Zion. This is your luck.